Man, it's crazy, man. It's real nuts. I'm sitting out here chilling. I'm trying to keep my bearings together. But man, that was nuts. Completely nuts. Shouts out to Tasha K doing that interview with Brother Bilal. Brother Bilal opened up a can of worms because what he did was confirm a lot of the things that I said, right? A lot of the things that I brought to the table, that I brought to light, he confirmed. And I'm talking years ago. So all these things, these stories and all this that they think is like, oh my God, this is just conspiracy theory talk and all that. Well, they've come to find out a lot of this stuff is 100% correct and official. And people are having a hard time swallowing it. Yep, hard time, vicious time. Now, the harder practice to deal with is the fact that all of this is on the table, on the surface. So people are trying to figure out what it is that they want to do. They had it laid out. And yeah, they had it all laid out. But Will has been such a coward in this whole revelation. It goes along with everything Brother Bilal was saying. That's what we were talking about. Well, Chris, there's a lot of things he didn't say that I know he's going to say later. This is just the surface. He's just getting started. Um, this rabbit hole is a lot deeper than a lot of people think. Now, one of the biggest problems in the matter is this. Okay. One of the biggest problems that they got is they have a situation where there's so many different we have so many different factors in place where Will has just cowered out, cowardly, sitting back and letting his wife fight his battles. That's a coward, dude. That's a straight coward. 100% coward move. Why your wife is on these shows? Why your wife on TMZ? Why your wife? We suing. He talking about Will. Why Will ain't saying that? You see what I'm saying? Will, that's Will's friend. Why he ain't saying it? Why you doing the talking? Oh, he cares, bro. He cares. It's just that he is the beta and she's the alpha. This goes right along with everything he's been saying, everything I've been saying, everything she said in her book. See, she told on herself even when she was lying. See, like I told you, her whole book was not a lie. It was half truths. And when you tell partial truths, everybody else can fill in the blanks. It's really simple. There's no way in the world you was this beautiful girl winning these beauty pageants in Baltimore, like he was saying. And there's no way you gonna just come up and be they just finna, because they think you cool, they finna just, the drug dealers and all these street hoods is just finna just give you drugs and give you space. You getting robbed and losing money, and it's just okay with them, and you ain't sleeping with them. To your own admission, you had a sex addiction. So if you had a sex addiction since you were 10, right? That don't fade away because you get famous. That's part of the problem that you have right now that's got you into this mess. And most of the things that he was talking about, you can't, if you gonna sit there and allow your wife to treat you that way, I can't do nothing but agree. 100%. I can't. I can't help but agree. This thing is essentially a problem. You're gonna sit there and allow this to happen over and over again? Like, how is somebody supposed to feel sorry for a grown man? You the biggest star in Hollywood. You have billions of dollars to play with at your access, and you get controlled by a 5'5" woman. Now, what he was tamping in on that he really didn't go down was the rabbit hole with Keenan Ivory Wayans, where he said it all started with Keenan Ivory Wayans. Oh, you come back? Yeah. So Keenan Ivory Wayans is where it all started. That's what they wanted to point out. So Keenan Ivory Wayans is the one. Yeah. So well, Keenan got brought to her and discovered. Now remember, Jada has always been around. As y'all remember, Marlon Wayans told like he had the biggest crush on Jada and all of this because Jada was around because of her agent. Right? He the one that gave her the agent. Told her this person is good for you. Call this person here. So Keenan helped her out. So Keenan was bringing her around. Now at the same time, when they got in Living Color and was doing their thing, doing in Living Color and all these shows, at that time, this is a little bit, I would say this was before Living Color. So this is before Jennifer Lopez came into the fray. Because this is before I'm Gonna Get You Sucker and all this stuff. So a lot of this was in development. He was just coming up in the game. But he had a lot of ties in LA and Hollywood. And she was using that beauty. Plus they went to the Baltimore School of the Arts. And they was doing all of these different things. So when they were doing all this stuff, they were sitting back and they were portraying something that wasn't even true. Oh no, because see, Keenan Ivory Wayans was nailing Jennifer Lopez. See, that's what a lot of people didn't understand. That's why he said J-Lo's supposed to have that role. See, he was sleeping, when he was doing In Living Color, he was sleeping with Jennifer Lopez. Even though he was married, she knew how to get ahead. This is how she was showcased a lot on the show. She's a big booty Puerto Rican girl. So they was gonna showcase her a lot. They start giving her speaking parts. Like, oh, I'm one of the fly girls. My name is Jennifer Lopez. She knew how to get to the top. So at that time, a lot of girls auditioned for the part for Low Down Dirty Shame. But Jada ended up getting it with her long friend because she was best friends with the wife of Keenan Ivory Wayans. And they was like, why don't you cast Jada to play that part? Well, see, here's the thing. A lot of actresses auditioned for that part. Like, I think it was Rosie Perez auditioned for the part. Another actress auditioned for the part. But it was so strenuous. Like, the work exercise and the training, the physical training, a lot of this stuff that they had to do. But she could play the character that they wanted her to play better than Jennifer Lopez. She fit. So Jennifer Lopez was going to have to go through all this training. And at this point, she was kind of moving on into her own thing. She was into the acting and she had some movie roles, but she was supposed to be in the film. Didi Medina was going to hook it up. And she was going to have her, success cycle go down that road. But they turned everything around and it fell on its own head. Because no, Tisha wasn't in line for that role. That was Jennifer Lopez's role and Jada took it. They gave it to Jada. Jada was friends with Keenan's wife and she probably told the wife about J-Lo. So who knows? That one I have no proof of, but believe me, knowing Jada, she knew. Everybody who was on In Living Color knew. Keenan and Jennifer Lopez was messing around. That was no secret. So, like, he was flaunting her around. Like, she was always with Keenan, everywhere on the set. Yes, she was married to Dwayne Martin. Dwayne Martin was jealous of Martin Lawrence and Tisha Campbell and ruined the Martin show for his own benefit. And then Will Smith is his best friend. But see, what people don't realize is that Will Smith and Martin Lawrence were always friends before Bad Boys. They were really tight. So Dwayne Martin, they were all in Martin's wedding. Like, they went to Martin Lawrence's wedding and everything. So when Martin got married, this was a really crazy situation. But he got married to Pat. And when he did that, it was a totally crazy situation. Because they changed the wedding date, the date of the wedding, because there was so many press and everybody else at the wedding. But they didn't get the information to everybody. So now you got people who's in the wedding like Will Smith and they all at the wedding where it's not at. They was like, oh, they changed the venue. He was like, well, we didn't know. We're sitting here at the other wedding date. So it was a big mess. But Dwayne Martin, all these people, Tisha Campbell showed up and everything else. And everything was supposedly cool. But he became more and more of a problem as we all know how that played out. Dwayne Martin was somebody who wasn't a good actor. He was a decent role supporting actor, but he wasn't great. Alan Payne, who I told you was close to Will, because he did that scene with Jada and movie Jason's Lyric. He was the lead actor. She had a thing for him. She had a crush on Alan Payne and did that. And she was like, "Oh, I can't do it. You got to use a body double. You got to use a body double. So get a body double to stand in for me." Crazy, right? Yep, exactly what I told you. He was supposed to be in a bubble, but we know what happened. A phone call was made. Will would call up and get people in the movie. Alan Payne was supposed to play in that role, but they got Dwayne Martin to play and star in the movie. Just as he told you, Will owned that restaurant. Will had got caught by the FBI because of the way he foreclosed on the place, and Dwayne was just terrible at doing business. He was abusive, controlling, and held back Tisha Campbell's career for her to be a mom and stay home. So these became bigger problems as it kept going down. It kept getting worse and worse. Oh yeah, I'll reveal more on the Patreon tonight. On Carcino for Life Patreon. Now that Brother Bilal has really said what he's about to go, I know exactly where he's about to go with this. So I'm going to tell y'all exactly where this is going to land. And the lawyer he's talking about is the same lawyer that went after another person. See, he's the first person in the inner circle, but there was somebody who really wasn't in the inner circle, who was on the outer circle, who fell out with Jada Pinkett Smith. And Fawn, who's her best friend for life, for like 30, 40 years. Fawn is the reason for a lot of this stuff going left too. Yeah, Fawn, her friend, her bestie. See, Fawn is another thing that people need to talk about. Oh, what we're going to talk about and where this is going? Oh, well, we're going to talk about her best friend, the one that committed suicide, that she spoke about briefly in the book, but didn't go into detail too much. Except for she just started acting crazy, and she wouldn't allow her to come back to California. This is her best friend. And she took her friend back. No, you got to go back to the East Coast. Stay out there. Can't come back out here. She was, please, I want to go back to California. Next thing you know, she apparently jumped off a building. And she had to console the mother if the mother's confused as to what would make her daughter do this. So we're going to talk about this more when we get into this more. We're going to talk about it on the Patreon. We'll talk about the friend, who she was, why she did it, who was she involved in with. So as we go further on into this thing, Alfonso Rivera never hung out with Will Smith. He didn't. I mean, that's the thing. You think they were inseparable because of the show. They never hung out. They did early on in the show, but as Will got bigger, they never was hanging out. He was not part of that circle. Mm-hmm. He was never part of that circle. Jazz was never around that circle. The more and more they went around that situation, it got heavily more crazy because the people around there was definitely telling a tale that didn't exist. So when all they were doing was sitting around asking people to believe their side of the story. But Jazz, he was blaming just boss, moving, ready to move.
I am not in control. She is in
Yep,
charge.
she's like, that is it. When I'm ready to go, I'll
She's like,
go.
oh, new person to say hi to.
Okay. Hi.
Have a good night.
All right, you too. She's like, I want to stay.
Yep. Every time. Come on.
It's nice. It's a cute dog. Yeah, no. James Lasseter, who once Will started doing like film and started working on movies and stuff like that. They did Bad Boys. A lot of people don't remember Bad Boys was before Independence Day. And Martin Lawrence was the bigger star. See, people don't remember that. They don't. When they did the first Bad Boys, putting Will Smith in an action movie, making him an action cop, he had to go through a workout regime. He was not the buff guy anymore. So Martin was the biggest star at that time. So, and that was before Independence Day. They skip over Bad Boys and just go right to Independence Day. I don't know why they do that. He said, I'm still cracking up over the thumbnail. Now, that's what I'm saying. This whole incident come out and you got your wife out here on TMZ. She's doing damage control. What a coincidence she winds up on the Breakfast Club. The day the clip comes out, she's on the Breakfast Club. Then she's coming out of places and TMZ's waiting on her to come out. And then she's willing to speak to TMZ as if they caught her there. They have assistants that tell them to tell paparazzi where to meet them, so that if they want to go and say something. Trust me, this is how these celebrity people work. Matt Barnes and all these other guys, they used to use TMZ all the time to try to keep themselves relevant. And he's going to be, I get off a plane, I'm getting off this plane at such and such time. They used to have these TMZ people on speed dial and give them exclusive interviews when they walking out, talk to them. Yeah, so when they ask questions, have Will ever slept with a man? No, never been with a man. I've never seen him with a man. No. Now, before, why would she adamantly have to say that? And then she's talking about we're suing. Why did you have to go out and adamantly say that? And say that, oh, this story is so ridiculous. We just laughed. You know, you can't help but make it because it sounds funny. You know, it's just so ridiculous. It sounds funny. No, it isn't. Because y'all were into this Scientology, trying to get people, y'all was trying to get off of the pain pills and all the medications that they got you and go take the Scientology way. And what they do is get you under hypnosis and all kind of psychedelic things using brainwashing, mind controlling tactics. They got commercials now trying to clean themselves up. You've heard their side of the story. Learn the truth. Come to Scientology.tv. And I'm like, for what? And they show the commercial. They got a truck. I mean, they got a boat. Like it's a big party. Dun, 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 like we getting it in. So they just sitting there having a blast. Like, oh, we just getting it in. Beanie Medina. We all know about Beanie. He's the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Who the story's about. We all know he's openly gay. Nothing new there. Quincy Jones' friend. Quincy Jones has helped groom a lot of these people. Tevin Campbell's, the Ushers, Usher living with Diddy, being there around a lot of those freak offs. I'm telling you, it's one big circle. That's just crazy. Will Smith, to get the role of the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, he had to go into Quincy Jones' house, go in a living room full of the people that was invested in the show, and do an audition live. Just go in there and freestyle. And he was like, I don't know if I could do this. And Quincy Jones told him, the people that, everybody that you want to pick up the show is in that room. So you better go in there and audition right now for the role. LL would never do a TV show. Then Quincy Jones, he started messing with Kadada. And Kadada got him with Quincy, and Quincy started helping him out with his career, got him on the TV show In the House. But LL left once he saw that crazy brainwashing stuff they was doing. He saw them into all that Buddhism and bowing down to Buddha and the statues, and he was like, look, this is crazy. And they tried to take LL to one of those parties. LL broke out of there. He saw the other side and said, oh no, I got to get up out of here. And he came right home, broke up with Kadada, flew home. He saw what all the stuff she was into, all the wickedness and the craziness. He saw that, all that mind control and cult activity. And he got on a plane, came all the way back, proposed to his baby mom the same day. He came home, begged her to take him back and marry him. Just that quick. They got married like the next week in the backyard. He was dead serious. He ran, what he saw made him run directly over to God. Quick. So Tupac was next. He just didn't live that long. They were going to bring him down that rabbit hole. They just didn't get there. Quincy was already doing for Tupac. Same thing they did for LL. Kadada was mad. You know when LL say the verse, female rappers too. I don't give a uck, boo. That was for Kadada. Kadada was trying to be a rapper too. Cause she's like, I could rap, and she was trying to be a female rapper. That's why he said females rappers too. I don't give a uck, boo. Talking about her being with like Tupac. He didn't care. I don't have to say alleged on what's fact. Now, Kadada got with Tupac and started telling him all about LL and all that and got his mind all gone and he heard the song. So he was, this Kadada, then I kidnap your daughter, you know. So that led to all that. But Quincy had both of their backs and was like, nobody's touching nobody. You and LL ain't gonna have no problems. But he needed Quincy Jones to get back into the film industry. Nobody was gonna let him make his own movies and get into the back, and he wanted that back because the music thing he saw was bootleg. He wasn't nobody. Everybody was starving at death row. They was looking rich, but was broke. Why you think Nate Dogg was robbing Taco Bells? He wouldn't have to rob no Taco Bell if he had his money coming in. Once he got away from death row, that's when Nate started making money. Oh, it's gonna get even more crazy. Cause old little Jada, she was dating everywhere she was going. She was dating a drug dealer. She never dated any guy of prominence until she was dating Grant Hill. Grant Hill and Calvin Hill, former NFL player, because he had his parents around him. They said no to Jada Pinkett. Told Grant Hill, this ain't the one for you. This ain't the one. No, this ain't the one you gonna marry. This would have been Grant Hill if he didn't have his mom and dad around. But everybody wanted Jada because she was a movie star. She was cute. She was beautiful. And Will had saw her at a lot of parties and wanted Jada. Because she was cute. She was cute as a button. Little cute, fussy little thing. But a little too masculine. She wasn't bigger than a minute. Where she was fussy, bossy, and putting her hands, calling shots. But the one guy she dated wasn't going to put up with that. And that's when she was scared for her life. And that's on the Patreon. So go to the Casino for Life Patreon. And y'all can get caught up until we get back and we're going to give y'all the other information to go along with this. And you're going to learn about her friend that committed suicide. That she vaguely talks about the reason why. Like she vaguely talked about her lesbianism. She talked about it like it was a fad. Go back and listen to the Patreon. Find out who those women are. She was in a movie with one of them. I'm going to tell you that now. Best friends with another. So there was multiple women. So I don't know what she's talking about. And the thing he brought up with Mark Anthony, everybody knew that. See, Mark Anthony and Jennifer Lopez owned the Miami Dolphins at one time with Will and Jada Pinkett Smith. They were thick as thieves. So like he was saying, they were trying to get them to swing. I think they were already on the swings. Because the thing about it is that two of the people in that relationship both have a sex addiction. Mark Anthony and Jada Pinkett Smith. So let that sink in. Hawthorne season was ended by Will Smith. He ended the show. Will Smith pulled a plug on the show. After that Mark Anthony thing was going a little too far, and Will kind of just lost his mind, he pulled the plug on that show. He the reason that show was even on the air, and she got that show. She'll make it look like she went and did it. Her production company. It was the weight of Will Smith that got it done. Like she was mad at Harvey Weinstein for saying, "I want Will Smith to executive produce this film with you." And she was like, "No, we're gonna have Denzel Washington do this, and he's agreed to do it. I want Will Smith to executive produce this with you, not just you executive by yourself." They want to have Will's name signed to it. And I understood it. And she said no, she wasn't doing that. She wanted to do it on her own. And Harvey said, "Well, I'm not giving you no money." So he wouldn't give up any money. So that was pretty interesting. So I'm gonna get back in here to the party. But we're gonna chat about this later. Don't forget, shouts out to everybody that's supporting the Cash Out, Super Chat, everything.
Yeah, so.
All right.
Cause if I don't, yeah, cause the iron pill constipated, so I had to take that so I can go. You know, that's from all the issues I got. You know, all the little bad issues I got in my stomach.
Yeah.
So I had to take all that junk.
Yeah, I used to take this.
Yeah, so when I check, you know, when I'm at
Oh yeah.
look at my number
The
right
like
there.
button is free. The Cash App is Carcino. The whole thing.
Nah, 25 doing nothing for me.
Salute, Mr. Bailey. You showed up right at the end.
I go up there, I go to
Yeah.
Plant City, I go all over the place. I go to one Planet Fitness on a Big Bend, or I go up
Yeah.
there one, or I go to one right here. I got a lot of them to go to.
Kevin, you want to get something to eat, man?
Something to eat. I just ate. I mean, we can go up there, but I just ate. We'll probably get some drinks or something up there.
Tiki Hut.
I don't know.
You go over to Tiki Hut.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and we'll be ready to head out.
Man.
You know, you